So next recording. This time we're going to look at the advanced task, and I'm going to start with a new branch. We're currently in the week 9 answer branch, which is fine, but we want to create something new. So I'm going to do git checkout -b for a new branch, and I'm going to call this one. We'll call this one post data. I'm not sure what the preferred convention on length of branch names or capitalization, but I'm going for this. I think it'll be easier to read on there. And it's not like you need to type it out a lot. So having something descriptive to me feels better than having something short. We're not going to save ourselves many keystrokes. And also we're using Z shell, so tab completion for the win. Right. What are we going to do?
Tab completion.
James, sorry to interrupt you. Just a quick question disregarding this advanced task, which is post. If you ever do a post, does it, if I'm correct, does it always need a payload?
Do you know what? I'm not sure it does always need a payload. I think you can have a post data, like the payload is of 0 length. I don't think you, Joe. Now, can we try that in a bit? Like, just don't take my answer as an answer, because I've never come across a situation where I've wanted to do that, and so it's never occurred to me to try. But we can definitely try at some point. Maybe not in this recording, because it's a bit of an obscure weirdness, but we can experiment. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So how would I go about this? So this is the advanced task bit here. So it's switched to using post requests. And actually, if you look, I did leave you with a place to put this. So you've got if data command is equal to get, this is what happens. So actually, what we can do is we can do elif data to post. And the reason I did that is because I actually forgot for a second what it was that the key was. And it was easier to finish typing the line and then look rather than lose my place. So we now have a thing that should be able to catch post requests. And at this point, so this is what I would actually do developing this, right? So the first thing I would do is I would put that line in, and I would check that my assumption about what was going on worked at this point. So I'd just do literally just do this. Okay, because what I want to do is to check to see if I can actually make that thing function. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run it to make sure I'm not running multiple copies, and I'm not. No, definitely not. And so from here, I'm going to do source x Alice, and we do that. And in another terminal, I'm now going to send a post request, but I'm not going to do it with xbob, because xbob doesn't have a clue about these things for now. We're only going to work on the Alice part at the moment. I will leave the xbob as a advanced plus exercise to send post requests. It's not that difficult, but if we can get this end working, then we're most of the way there. So curl localhost. I haven't turned on SSL. I don't think. Let me just check. No, I've left it off for making things nice and easy for now. So just HTTP, so we're going to localhost port 31337, and I think, I'm just going to do it, I think we can actually just put post data in with a -d, like this. So what did we get? Request for unknown file name. All right, so okay, that's definitely still a GET request. So let me refresh my curl knowledge. Yeah, so that was right. Okay, so why is it not working? Okay, let's do some debugging. So this is why I said I'm not sure how much of this will get done in the time, because it is sort of like a new open-ended task. What I'm going to do is install Wireshark, and let's have a look. Yeah. So Wireshark will let us. I could have done this with TCP dump, but Wireshark is prettier and it'll be easier for us to see. But Wireshark is a which are a couple of things. So firstly, it's a thing that can capture traffic. So it can record the network traffic that's going in and out of the machine. And secondly, it can help you to visualize that thing. You can also do some really cool stuff. So I have a box in my house, I have a little Raspberry Pi over in the corner, which when I log in and turn on the facility, becomes a wireless access point that forwards all of the traffic through the rest of the network to the internet, but at the same time passes it all out on an open port. So on another machine in the network, I can use Netcat and pipe it straight into Wireshark. So I can actually visualize the stuff going through my dodgy access point remotely. So you can do all kinds of nice stuff like that. Anyway, that's for this year, I think. Okay, so what I'm going to do is permission denied. You know what? I think I need to log in again to make it work without root privileges. So I'm just going to run it with root privileges for now. Just for speed. I'm a big believer in not having things run as root unless it's absolutely essential, and that includes this Docker and everything else. But so don't look at what I'm doing now as a good example. I'm just giving you that caveat here and now. Right. So there we go. You can see a ton of stuff happening, and that's because we're on a network with a load of other devices that are all doing things. So we'll have to pair that out a little bit, but for now that should be enough. And hopefully, when we go over to here and make this request, we should see this pop up. Let me stop the capture and see if we can find it. So we know it's going to be TCP. It's not going to be that one. Let's see, where are we? This is why we don't do live demos. That's got TLS. It's definitely not that one. I didn't see it. Hold
on. What are you capturing, James? Is it on?
I'm just going to have a look now.
Because if it's on the Docker interface or something, then you can just limit it to just limit it to loopback or something if it's on localhost. Because
it's on localhost, but it should have caught that. I think.
Get rid of the noise by taking your main Wi-Fi off then, and just do the local host, because that's what I always end up doing in the demos, because otherwise you spend about a day looking through the logs trying to find it.
We shouldn't have had that much though. Right, let's leave it at that.
You forget what Windows is.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, tell you what, let's just not turn this stuff on, but let's only do the loop back. Because that should be the one, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Okay. Let's try again. I mean, there's am I running? Okay, so it's definitely picking up stuff. That's still not all for this one machine.
You're not filtering still, but doesn't matter if you do. Just run your. Doesn't matter. Run your thing.
Weird though. Look, now you got one.
Just filter it using the display filters.
Let me try again. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let me just curl to go to Google first. That. Right. So that must have been this one. HTTP get and then moved permanently. Yeah, so that was that one. So we're definitely picking up stuff that goes outside. So what I'm going to do. Maybe I can
do that.
An idea. Sorry, it was on Windows before, wasn't it? So 122. So let me do it. Let me give it an IP address. Maybe that'll help. I definitely went across and hopefully left the network as well. Ooh, this is annoying. Do you know what? Maybe I'll just try it with TCP dump.
Do the display filter for a second, and it's going to be TCP.ports, I think, equals 13317 or whatever it was.
It's definitely not in there.
So you're not
It seems to be
collecting it. Weird.
Could be because I'm in the because VM's sometimes weird with the networking. So
they are.
Like the loopback can be odd, but I'm sure I've been able to do it inside a VM before. Let me try TCP dump. Just see if I can see you. Yeah, did that? Well, this is an interesting problem, but not did.
Can you filter port on TCP dump?
You can, but the trouble is, it's not. I know it's not there because like I can actually see there's not that much stuff, and I can just see that it's not there, which is really weird. It's not going to be UDP. Oh. Let's filter out the UDP at least. I think it's Proto, isn't it? The switch. So this is mostly going to be a video about how to do this. Oh, right. What should I do instead? Okay, I'll tell you. Right, we'll just forget that method. Let's do something totally different. Netcat LVPN 31338. Listen. Right, so I'm listening on 31338. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check when I make this request. Yeah, that's a post. See how I've captured the request? So that's definitely a post request. Okay, so what we're doing is we're debugging, the assumption. All right, so the assumption was that this would get a post request. It is a post request, and we can see it in here, but we're not picking up on the stuff that goes in here. But also, we've got request for unknown file name, and nowhere are we getting the bit about got a post request. Okay, but we also don't seem to have unsupported commands. So let's have a look. Let's put something else in here just to debug. Rerun this. Request for unknown file. Oh, okay, right. So try myself. Request for unknown file name is checked beforehand. Okay, so that was silly. So what I should do is run this again and make sure that I actually I forgot that I added the check for file names on in the objectified version. So what I should have done was this, and then we say got a post request. Okay, so now we move on. And that wasn't a setup to show you debugging, but it worked out quite well. It's just checking assumptions. So we know when we've got a GET request. We also now know when we've got a POST request. And so what we can do is we can say, well, in here, we expect to have the data presented to us in a different way. Okay, so data contains everything that comes from these requests. And so what I can do is I can have a look at, oh, that's a reminder, I've got to go to the school meeting. So give me a few seconds to finish up what we're doing here. I'm going to print out data. Let's run that again. This is what we have to work with at that point. We have a dictionary that contains these things. And because it's a post request, we will have a post item with something in it. And all we need to do really now is, instead of using this split queue here and then getting the data out of this this queue variable that we've made, what we'd do instead is we would take not the content of that, but the post data from there. So we haven't got time to finish it all off, but what I am going to do is I'm going to put this in the so on the branch. I'm going to put that, just that little bit, but it's sort of a starting point, and I'm going to commit that and push it to the repository. So anyone that wants to sort of look at this as a starting point and be reminded, here's a good place to go. So our first steps to Postgres. Do that. Push to origin. See, I've done it in Emacs again by accident. Okay, so well, you've seen me do other pushes today properly. So there we go. And now we should have over here the starting point for this is now up. Well, that's the wrong source file for what we want, but there we go. Exactly. There we go. So you can see here, and that also is a sort of hint that all the data that you need is in there. Okay.